All right, Marty, fellow Salesforce MVP, is going to come up and talk about Spring 2014 release.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, and how many of us are still awake? All right, that was exciting. Dreamforce 2014 coming just around the corner, so I hope everyone is excited. I am. And to get us there, we're obviously going to go through a few releases during the year, and I'm very happy and excited to be able to share with you some of the highlights coming in Spring 14, and that's just around the corner. So to start, I think it's important to realize that with every release, Salesforce really tries to do something for everyone. So whether you're a sales user, whether you're a sales manager, whether you work in service or marketing, you're an admin developer, everyone kind of wins with every release of Salesforce. So I think there are 100 plus different features that are released. So I'm going to just hit on a few, and there are plenty of blogs and the Salesforce Success community to help you get a fuller picture of everything that's available. But these are just some of the few things that I think are pretty cool to share with you all. First, if you've been to Dreamforce or watched anything, you've probably heard of this nifty thing called Salesforce One. And Salesforce One is really the new approach that Salesforce is taking to take all of its different mobile apps from the past and bring it all together into a single platform. And the people who are going to benefit the most from this are going to be your sales users and your sales managers. Why? Is because you're going to be able to travel, you're not going to have your laptop, you're going to have your tablet or your mobile phone. And Salesforce One is really designed to be everything for that sales user. Log your calls, log your events, send emails out of Salesforce One. You have access to all of your custom objects. You even have access to Visualforce and all sorts of other custom integrations, including non-Salesforce applications, all directly from your mobile device, all from a single app. And that's Salesforce One. So in addition to that particular theme, you may have also heard of this Communities feature that was released. Communities with Salesforce One is now available not just for your internal users, but from a service perspective, to your customers and to your partners. So everyone can really go and leverage the power of Salesforce One directly from a mobile device. There is one caveat to the communities in Salesforce One, and that is you won't be able to get to the communities if you're a partner or a customer using the app, but you will be able to get to it from your web browser. So along the same theme of mobile, admins now get a tool that can help them while they're on the go because everyone gets paged at odd hours of the night if you're an admin. So that means from your phone, you're going to be able to support some of your users, help reset some passwords, perform some basic administrative duties without having to open up your web browser. And there is actually a fun little Easter egg in this particular app. I'm just curious if anybody knows what it is. Anybody? It involves a rocket ship. Well, if you haven't checked it out, the rocket ship is worth downloading and just trying it out. So if you find it, definitely post it in the New Hampshire User Group. Let people know that you found it. Take a screenshot. It's pretty fun. So next is another feature that is helpful for the sales team, and that involves multiple forecast types. What that means is previously, if you've done forecasting, you were kind of limited to how you can view your forecast. You would have to flip to it. You look at your forecast predefined by revenue or quantity, and then you were kind of constrained in your user interface to be able to look at your future in many different ways. So in multiple forecast types, Salesforce now gives you the ability to look at your forecasts in up to four different perspectives. Those include looking at them by products, product families, or you're looking at them from an opportunity perspective, but you can also slice it up by either revenue or by quantity. And the best part of all of this is it's very easily toggled through the user interface, as you can see through this screenshot. When you're looking at your forecast, 2 clicks, and you're looking at it from a totally different perspective to give you a more complete picture. Next is multi-monitor support, which may seem a little bit odd. It did to me when I first looked at it, because I've been using Salesforce on multiple monitors for a long time. But at the same time, I'm curious, out of all our audience here, how many of you use tabbed browsing or multi-window browsing on a regular basis? That's a pretty good amount. And there are some people who definitely didn't raise their hands. And I think when in my work, especially in service centers or in different organizations, that tends to vary depending on whether you're an admin or not. a lot of users don't necessarily use tab browsing on a regular basis, and what multiple multi-monitor support in Salesforce does makes it so easy for people who aren't necessarily comfortable flipping back and forth between multiple tabs to just click a button to pop open Salesforce in a new view and have two complementary views of Salesforce right in your two monitors. So I think it's a great step toward usability, making it easier and easier for multiple people to adopt the features that are so important. And next is case feeds. Case feeds actually had a lot of enhancements in Spring 14. How many people here use case feeds? Just a few. How many people have heard of case feeds? Slightly more. Okay, well, case feeds is basically it's a way for your service users, specifically working with cases, to more easily get updates on the things that they're following, gives you access to publisher actions as well. It's just a more streamlined interface that gives you more relevant updates than compared to the standard record interface that presents you just with data in 2 columns on a page. So this is customizable. You can put different components in it. You can reply to emails directly from it. I have a screenshot up here, but really the new features that were added were if you wanted to send an attachment out, you can drag and drop it in there. You can compose rich emails directly from the case feed, send it off to your customers. Those emails will be directly attached to the case and now also to the contact record. So there are a lot of usability enhancements directly built into this. So it's a one place for you to go, very rich interface for you to interact with the cases and deliver faster service to your customers. And there are actually a few other ones I'll get to as well, but we might see those in the quiz portion. So Journey Builder, this is specifically for exact target customers, so I won't dwell on it too much. But how many people here use exact target? Okay, probably a few. But as many people probably know, exact target was acquired by Salesforce, so it's now officially under the Salesforce.com umbrella. So that's the only reason I mention it, but it is pretty cool. The idea is that you would build out your customer and you would have set workflows built in very much like a Salesforce person might experience visual workflow. Very very intuitive, designed to give more power to your marketing team without necessarily the need for admin support. So from an organizational perspective, your admins and your developers who troubleshoots problems all the time, partial copy sandboxes are actually really, really helpful. Previously, if you wanted to get a significant amount of data into your sandbox, I remember when I first started, you basically had a full sandbox and that was your only option. But now with partial copy sandboxes, you get your full organization's metadata, which means your configurations. You get data included for up to 10,000 records per custom object, so that means, or per selected object, that means it's not 10,000 records total, but rather 10,000 per object, which is really quite a lot for you to work with to troubleshoot or to develop. And you can refresh this every 5 days compared to a full sandbox, which typically puts people on a monthly refresh cycle. So very helpful. You can do this pretty much every week and makes it much easier and faster for support and development. And how many people have heard of the new orders object? Great. Well, I think our Scribe partners have mentioned earlier that you integrate orders with your ERP. Orders now is a standard object in Salesforce. And what it means is that you are able to track everything from when you close an opportunity to when the order is actually placed. So when you place an order, you expect delivery. Your money all goes in there. So this is a new object Salesforce recognizes as a logical next step for them. And there's not only the object itself, but there's a full-featured API that integrates directly with it. So you can place orders integrated with your website. So when someone clicks to buy, like with PayPal or something else, you can imagine a button like that will create an order object directly, or an order record directly in Salesforce. So very cool, putting together, again, a more full-featured framework around the sales process. And now, I don't want to take up too much time, but this is intended to be a audience participation friendly session. So I'd like to invite up to the first four people from the audience from different organizations, I'll ask, to come up and just participate in a quick quiz about Spring 14. So what I'm going to do is I've prepared here a few questions. We've got 4 people, and would our participants mind introducing themselves to the audience? So if I could start with my right here.
Ted Hazard. I'm a administrator for Salesforce for Unum in Portland, Maine.
My name is Anthony Vello, and I'm a Salesforce administrator and developer for Green Leads out of Andover, Massachusetts.
Brian Roth, recently certified and searching for opportunities as an administrator.
I'm Sonia Gonzalez. I'm an administrator with the New Hampshire Community Loan Fund.
All right. Just to make sure I remember the names, Ted, Anthony, Brian, and Sonia, is it? Excellent. Thank you guys. Very brave. Appreciate your participation. So the questions, I will read them slowly for you guys since you're standing facing the audience. The audience will be able to see it projected on the screen. Uh-oh. Well, I will read them slowly for everyone to hear then. How about that? So we're going to do 13 questions. So there are 4 of us, and we'll see person with the most questions will win, and I will give you a card with a mystery surprise on the back written on it. All right.
I thought this was quick. 13 is a lot.
Oh, these are really quick. All right. So first question. Support for this browser is added in Spring 14. All right. Anthony?
I'm going to go with Opera.
Not quite. Well, I think that this is a Microsoft browser. How about that?
11?
Internet Explorer 11 is correct. That one goes to Ted. Beautiful. This feature allows users to organize records similarly to how Chatter threads can be organized. However, Chatter is not required to enable this feature.
Topics.
Beautiful. Ted, for 2. All right. The limit for this particular feature, or this limit increased from 612 megabytes to 2 gigabytes for enterprise performance and unlimited editions.
I was going to say file storage.
Beautiful. Anthony, for 1. Excellent. Enhanced lookups can now be enabled for this standard object.
What is user?
That was pretty good. Thinking of a different standard object. Okay. Think sales.
Opportunity?
Opportunity is correct. Well done, Sonia. Beautiful. It's actually kind of weird that Salesforce didn't have that for enhanced lookups is a very useful feature. You can do searches by more than just a record name. Highly encourage you all to check it out. Easy to enable. All right, we talked about this earlier, but this app for end users is officially introduced in Spring 14.
Salesforce one?
Salesforce 1 it is. 1 for Brian. And moderation actions in this context are now tracked using network activity audit in the API. Moderation actions in this context are now tracked.
Chatter?
Very close. Chatter. It is Chatter. I think
Is it Chatter Communities?
Chatter communities, yes. Very nice. And specifically now, if you think about enabling communities for your customers and you want to take control of it, you can flag items, you can delete items. It's actually, and you can see all of that activity now in your audit trail. Great. So that's 2 for Anthony. So next is this Chatter feature originally released in Winter 12 is now available for communities, providing a new mode of communication. It's a Chatter feature that was originally released in Winter 12.
Messenger?
Very close.
Chat? The chat feed?
Not.
Private,
It's a different mode of communication for. So think about Chatter. Chatter is when you make a post in Chatter. Who can see it?
Private messages?
Private messages. So now you can send private messages to people in the community. Very nice. Ted, I think it puts you at 3. 1 more and you take the game. All right. How about this feature gives users the ability to predict sales from up to 4 perspectives in collaborative forecasts.
Forecasting?
It's a new feature. I talked about it just a few slides ago. It gives you the ability to predict sales from up to 4 different perspectives. All right. Going once. I heard it.
multiple forecasting?
Multiple forecast types. Beautiful. Audience, keep me honest. Was that 3 or 2 for Sonia?
2.
I think she said 3.
4.
Okay.
4. It was 4.
All right. Thank you. Users can now create records for this standard object using the Salesforce for Outlook side panel.
Cases?
Anthony. Beautiful. Yep. So right now, if you use Salesforce for Outlook, you can create cases right from the side panel. All right. 3 for Anthony, 4 for the win. So this Sales Cloud feature for managing sales teams can now be disabled if necessary. You couldn't disable it before, and it was a big annoyance for people working with it, by contacting salesforce.com customer support. Anybody have any idea what it is?
I'll take a guess. I
Yep.
know the feature that a lot of people didn't like was the ability to send invitations out of Salesforce. I'll take a guess that it's that.
Different feature.
Different feature.
For managing your sales teams. So think accounts and opportunities, and what would you want to do with your sales teams there? Nope. Going once, going twice. Is it? Territory management is correct. 1 for the audience. All right. Yeah, so actually that's, hopefully that empowers people to try it out. I think territory management may have gotten a bad rap in the past, but it's actually for complex organizations with different ways of wanting to assign people to manage different accounts and opportunities. Very helpful. Visual Force pages can now be added as custom components to this case feature first released in Spring 12.
Solutions?
No, to a case feature. Close. It's related.
Case
Going
comments?
once. Great guess. Not quite. Going once, going twice. All right. Case feeds. So I know, apologies, might have been a little bit off because most people don't use it, but very highly recommend you guys check it out after the user group. This one for companies that work with SLAs or service level agreements. Developers can now make those service level agreements for customers, think support, more scalable with dynamic entitlement processes by creating business logic to calculate this component in an entitlement process. Before I go any further, can anyone explain what an entitlement process is in Salesforce? No? All right. Okay. All right.
So an entitlement process is the support, I'm just talking in terms of the case or support. It's the agreement you have with a company. It could be like a gold, silver, or bronze support. And based on that, there's different.
So your entitlement process basically means different customers at different tiers will get different expectations for their service. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with each process has these things called milestones. So developers can help make this scalable by using business logic to calculate what about milestones.
Response time?
Very close.
The date,
Keep going. Yep.
the due date,
All right. Ted, for you, that was pretty close. The start date of a milestone. I think you got the right idea. All right, so I think that's 4 for Ted. He takes the game. Thank you, Ted, Anthony, Brian, and Sonia. Round of applause for our brave participants. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.